I'm sorry. Alright, I'm sorry. I knew I was forgetting something today, and it was to find a good intro video. Clayton sent me a few videos, but they're pretty long. They're like 14 minutes, and I didn't want that to be the intro video, so I messed that up, and I'm sorry. Welcome to the podcast. I'm super out of it today. Why does the mic sound bad? What do you mean? What's wrong with it? Gain sounds really bad? What does that even mean? I have not touched anything. I don't even know where the... Like, on the mic? Or... Open sound settings. Hold on. Okay. Is that better? Alright. Now it's quiet. What about now? What about now? We're not talking about that right now. Shut up. Sorry. I take it back. That was mean. Sorry. Okay. Hi. It's still low. Do you want me to turn it? Do you want me to turn it up? Again? It's good? It's good. Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast, episode 31. Today we're talking to Clayton Pilbro. I hope that I said his name right. Hold on. Clayton Pilbro. I apologize. He is the founder of II Conservation. I mentioned it on Echo. What? Is there an echo? Do I need to do something with my mic before I keep talking? Okay. Alright, I announced this podcast on Wednesday, and a lot of you guys didn't know what IIs were. So, we get to learn about that today. You saw the intro screen. Thank you, Will, for making it, so you guys know what IIs look like. They're a primate in Madagascar. Really, really, really cool animal. KJ, thank you for the $5. Cindy, thank you for the $5. Look at those alerts, too, boys. Holy cow. Locke has set us up, hooked us up with updated alerts. They're dope. Thank you, Locke, for doing that. Critical, thanks for the 8 months. My dog has been barking all morning because there are people working on my house, even though they were supposed to be done a week and a half ago. They're still here every day because it's 100 degrees outside, and so they come at the end of the day at like 7 p.m., and then they only have like an hour of light. So, they come here every day to work, even though it was only supposed to be for a weekend. Dion, thank you for the 12 months. So my dogs have been barking for the past week and a half. I have an alarm system for some reason, and it has been incessantly beeping, not like beep, 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 but like beep, 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 and it didn't stop, so I had to wait 2 hours for my landlord to come here to literally rip it out of the wall because every button I pressed and me turning it off didn't do anything. So that's been my morning. I'm a little stressed, I'm a little out of it, but I'm excited for the podcast today. So back to it. Today we're talking to Prem. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. I appreciate it. We're talking to Clayton Pilbro. He's the founder of Eye Conservation, which is an organization that helps protect eyes. They're an endangered species in Madagascar, like a lot of the other animals that come on the podcast. Thank you so much. They're threatened primarily by habitat loss and habitat degradation. So we're gonna talk about. Thank you, Pollock. We're gonna talk to him about that today and about the threats that they face. Rowdy, thank you for the year, Bird. Eye Conservation, it's an organization that they raise funds for protection for eyes. They do public education in local communities, and they collaborate with researchers who study lemurs. So Clayton is a big lemur guy. I did my test stream with him, and he has lots of lemur plushies in frame. So I have a feeling he's an enthusiastic, passionate guy. So it'll be an interesting conversation. As always for the podcast, there's a quiz at the end of the podcast. 5 questions. Potter, thank you for the 5 months. 5 questions for the quiz. You have to get them correct the fastest, and then you get points, and whoever gets the most points at the end either gets a gifted sub to my channel. If they're already a sub to my channel, they get a gifted sub to another channel of their choice, or they get to request that I add another $5 to the donation goal. Sarek, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Speaking of donation goal, I've already mentioned the organization. It is going to Eye Conservation, which is the organization that Clayton founded. They do, like I said, they do research, they do education, they do all the good stuff. So that's where your donations are going today. Hopefully you guys are able to fall in love with eyes a little more today. We'll pull up some pictures so you guys have a better idea. He sent me some videos, but I'm unable to download them for whatever reason, so we'll figure it out as we go today. Gim, thank you for the 7 months. What else am I forgetting? Yes, I have a surprise at the end of the podcast. Big surprise. That's going to be a part of the stream for the next few weeks, and you guys are going to love it. So we have a lot to talk about at the end of the podcast, but that'll be for the end. Conch, thank you for the $11.13. I appreciate it. Hashtag ask for questions. Yes, if you have a question that you would like to ask Clayton, or you would like to know something about eyes, please do hashtag ask. It will send it to a live document, and I will ask him those questions throughout the podcast. Anyone saying Matt or Ms on this podcast, you can feel free to time them out. All right, I'm going to see you guys in a second. I'm going to play the intro screen. Geppetto, thank you for the 2 months. Let's go. Itch with $20. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Let's get going. Let's call Clayton. Let's get a conversation going because you know. Okay, hold on. It was muted.
Hello, Maya. Doing well.
Good.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see if everything's working. All right. Is it possible for you to tilt your camera down at all?
Sure.
That would be great. Thank you. All right.
How's that?
Perfect. Everybody's saying hello. I did a short intro on you and of II conservation and about what they are. I was unable to download those videos that you sent me.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm not sure why, but we can pull up some pictures throughout the podcast if we find stuff that they need a visual for. Got it? All set up?
All set up.
Okay, perfect. So we're at $41.13 so
Thank
far.
Thank you all so much.
of donations to the organization. Could you introduce yourself and then tell us about your organization?
Absolutely. So my name is Clayton Pilbro. I'm a primatologist. I actually started out working with dinosaurs of all things.
Ooh.
And I went to university here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you would think that we would have a pretty good paleontological program.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, we do not have a paleontological program. We only have a geology program.
Okay.
And so I decided I would go into anthropology because I figured bones are bones.
Yeah.
And I would study forensic instead. And I actually did become a forensic anthropologist and went on to do autopsies and crime scene investigation for many years.
Whoa.
But in one of my classes, towards the middle of my career as an undergrad, my then to become advisor mentioned very briefly that he was going up north into northern New Mexico to hunt for fossil lemurs. And I went, fossil lemurs?
Yeah.
In New Mexico? And he said, oh yes, lemurs started in North America and then spread to the rest of the world.
I did not know that.
Oh, very few people do. And I was hooked. I went, that's primatology, that's paleontology in the guise of anthropology. And I did my thesis on it, and I got my honors thesis in it. And I was able to get a dual major in anthropology and geology and go on and do paleontology with it. And then when I went to teach at Western Michigan University for my grad school, my students introduced me to the II.
Oh my gosh.
And I had not really studied IIs before. I knew very little about them. I knew that they were an odd nocturnal primate, that they had very long fingers.
Yes.
And that they had ever-growing teeth and these very large ears that they used to echolocate. They tapped on tree branches, and then they listened for grubs, and then they chewed into branches once they heard a hollow sound, and then they found the grubs.
So cool.
But other than that, I knew very little about them. So I started to look into them, and I found out that my proto-primates that I studied were very similar. So I studied things that came out of fossil-bearing layers.
Oh, wow.
That were fossil lemurs.
Uh-huh.
And they had very similar structures as these IIs. They had long, procumbent incisors. They had no premolars, and then these large molars in the back, just like IIs did. And there was nothing similar around today as these fossil lemurs that I was studying. They existed 60 million years ago, when California collided with the North American plate and shifted up the Rocky Mountains, the entire ecosystem of North America changed. And it went from a tropical rainforest to the desert Southwest we know today. And all of these Plesiadapiforms, these proto-primates, disappeared. And the only place that lemurs remained was Madagascar.
Yes.
And I realized, as cliche as it sounded, that these eyes were a living fossil, the only living fossil that I could compare my fossil Plesiadapiforms to.
Got it. That's so cool.
It really was. But they're going extinct. They're going extinct very quickly. There are only 5,000 eyes left in the wild of Madagascar. And there are only 55 eyes left in captivity in zoos and installations like that around the world. And there are only 24 left in the United States.
Wow. I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
So we've gotten a bunch of donations. Utachi with $20. Again, Utachi with $40. Sarah with $25. Cuban with $30. LT with $5. Celeron with $40. And Maz with $20.
Thank you all so much. So I want to let you guys know a little bit about what we do at II Conservation.
Yeah, please.
So Madagascar is the poorest country on Earth.
Okay.
So poverty conditions, of course, in Madagascar are forcing inhabitants to turn to eyes as food.
Oh.
So bushmeat trade, and then they also have to do slash and burn farming and human overpopulation. They're all killing off the already highly endangered eye. Now, eyes are also ritually killed. There's a fatty, which is somewhat of a superstition about eyes. It's believed they're a omen of evil, almost.
Oh, that's terrible.
So, you know, I always have to talk to my students about this. And, you know, everybody gets very upset about the killing of eyes for bushmeat and the killing of eyes for superstition. And we have to realize we can't treat the Malagasy as the enemy, because nothing's going to get done unless the Malagasy are on board with us. Because the Malagasy have to be the ones to bring about change on their island.
Yeah.
They have to find a reason that they want to keep the eyes and the other lemurs protected. And you can't fault someone for being hungry and starving when they're living in poverty conditions where they make barely a penny a year. Yeah. I mean, there's just no food to go around. And when you have a family, you're going to do whatever you need to get food.
Right.
So I don't blame them for looking towards lemurs as food. It's that the rest of the world needs to step in and help. Okay. And that's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah, that's a hard conversation, I think, that a lot of people have in conservation.
And
how to balance those things.
And for the fatty, the superstition about eyes, there's a lot of ideas of where that came from. One of the ideas is that the eye really likes the Romany nut. It comes from the Romany tree. And the traditional practice of the Malagasy is that they buried their dead under the Romany tree. So 1,000 years ago, when the Malagasy first started having contact with eyes, it was during ceremonies where they buried their dead.
Okay.
And they probably didn't come in contact with eyes because they were skittish nocturnal primates at any other time than when they buried their dead.
Yeah.
And you would think a superstition would come to bear. They're kind of scary looking. They only come out at night. They have these odd looking fingers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we find them cute. Some of us do. Some of us find them kind of scary looking. They move very quickly. They have rapid movement. And in the dark, when you don't have any kind of electric lights, 1,000 years ago, I can imagine being scared of them. They would seem like specters in the dark.
I didn't realize that they were quick. I've always imagined them to be pretty slow moving.
Oh no, they're very fast. And they're actually quite large. They're larger than a cat.
Are they?
Yes.
Huh. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So they're the size of a small dog.
That is a little frightening in the dark.
Yeah. So, and
in the
you
trees.
know, they can eat through almost anything. They can eat through concrete.
What?
Yes, their teeth. They're very smart. They can take out screws and they can get into almost anything. You have to keep them very entertained. Their brain to body size is the same as humans and chimpanzees.
Really?
So they are extremely intelligent of primates.
So cool. I've seen them maybe a couple times in zoos, but not moving or anything. And I've always just pictured them as being kind of frail and slow and gentle.
Oh,
and
no.
Wow.
They can move very quickly. If you ever get the chance, go to the Denver Zoo, and they are very rapid moving, especially if there's multiple eyes in a single enclosure.
Wow.
Especially if it's feeding time.
We got a few more, so we have a few more donations that came in. Loco tipped $50. Chemi with $5 and Utachi again with $15. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all of you. So what I was saying is they would come in contact with them when they were burying their dead. So a mythos came about that if they pointed at you with their long fingers, that you were cursed and that you were to die next. And that the only way to save yourself from this curse was to then kill that eye and to put it up at the edge of your village to protect yourself. And this has been a major challenge because as slash and burn farming has decreased the forests around Madagascar, mining for precious jewels, all of this has massively cut down trees. They've been charcoal burning. There's been planting of now marijuana to deforest Madagascar. And so eyes travel up to 15 hectares a night. They're very long roaming primates every night.
I got them all wrong.
And so they're coming into contact with humans more and more. Mm-hmm. And the more that happens, the more eyes are going into villages and they're coming into contact with humans. Humans are seeing them. Mm-hmm. They're killing them because they're afraid of the fatty, of being cursed.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we and other organizations do, like Madagascar Biodiversity Partnership that we partner with sometimes, is we create educational programs to try to teach, especially younger Malagasy, that the eyes are not dangerous, that they mean them no harm, that the fatty is incorrect, that the superstition is not truthful, that they are actually a benefit. And we just encourage them to see these eyes as a benefit and actually a tourism boost And so there are actual villages now in Madagascar who have a no-kill policy for eyes. They actually know that they can benefit from tour guides bringing primatologists and others to go and bring people out into the bush to see and photograph eyes, and they protect them.
That's great.
But one of the problems with COVID-19 coming in is that we've seen a boost again in fatty killings of eyes. People are afraid again. The disease has really brought about people's fight or flight. And just in the last 3 months, I have gotten over a dozen emails of people reporting and sending photos of eyes that have been killed, mostly pregnant female eye.
Oh no.
Which is really disheartening on one hand. On another hand, it's heartwarming to know that people are reporting it. Malagasy are actively sending us emails. But on another hand, there's not much we can do because the border around Madagascar is still closed because of COVID-19.
Right. Well, I guess there's some positivity and some negativity in there. Fen, thank you for the $5. Simp with the $10. We're at $326. Guys, if you're just stopping in here, we're talking to Clayton Pilbro. He's the founder of Eye Conservation, an organization that does education. They partner with some research, and they support the conservation of eyes. That's where your donations are going. You can do command guest to find their socials, and command org if you'd like to be taken to their website.
Thank you.
So you were mentioning them being scared of the finger. I've had lots of questions come in about their middle finger. Can we talk about that?
So it's not actually their middle finger anymore. So one of the videos I had sent you that didn't go through is that Adam Hartstone Rose and Edward Dickinson from North Carolina State found that eyes actually have a sixth finger, kind of like a panda, which is actually their pseudo thumb. So there's new discoveries going on all the time. This just came out 6 months ago. I gave a lecture about it at the Denver Zoo in November.
Very cool.
But there's new discoveries going on all the time. So the middle finger has actually been moved over one. So they actually now have 6 fingers.
How interesting. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, here's a picture that I'm in the way for. So what is the advantage of having a finger like this? Why?
So what they use this long elongated finger for, it can rotate 360 degrees. And what some people have suggested as a hypothesis is that there are no woodpeckers in Madagascar. So eyes have taken the presence of the woodpecker and become a percussion hunter. They use this elongated finger to tap.
Percussion hunter. That's so cool. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just haven't heard that term.
The finger to tap rapidly on a tree trunk or hollow branch, and they listen for hollow sounds and signs that there are grubs or insects in hollow spaces, and they listen with these long concurved ears. And when they hear what they're listening for, they use these ever-growing long incisors that grow out their front teeth, top and bottom, and they gnaw through the wood. And I actually have a wonderful piece of wood here from the Denver Zoo. They give these as enrichment for their eyes. So they cover a metal box and they put grubs underneath, and the eyes will
metal box?
Yeah.
Oh my god. What on earth?
they'll tap the wood on top and they'll chew through the spaces on the wood over the metal containers.
Wow.
And they'll gnaw through, and then they'll use this long digit to feel through, and they'll scoop out whatever insect or grub it is, and then they'll feed it into their mouth very rapidly, and then go on to the next hollow space.
That's
and
amazing.
Repeat the same action over and over again.
So are they just insectivores, or do they also eat food? Or
That's a very good question. They are omnivorous.
Okay.
And part of my thesis work is that I am a paleoanthropologist, as I've said.
Mm-hmm.
And so there actually were two different types of eyes 1,500 years ago before humans arrived. There was a much larger eye, the giant eye, and then there were the eyes we know today. And as soon as humans arrived, the giant eye, which was about twice the size of modern eyes, died out, along with a large amount of the larger lemurs. At one point, there was a lemur the size of a gorilla.
What?
Yes.
That's wild. Wow.
There were a large number of very large lemurs.
Oh my gosh.
But humans, the Malagasy themselves, although this is argued back and forth, arrived probably from the Philippines. And when they arrived around 1,000 years ago, a large number of lemurs, including the giant eye, went extinct. And that's probably due to overkilling of many of the larger species, because they were probably slower and they provided a large amount of meat for the colonizing humans. At the same time, other large animals like the elephant bird, one of the largest non-flying birds, went extinct. You can still find their giant eggs in Madagascar.
Really? That's so cool.
But it's just a sign that human overhunting has been going on for over 1,000 years now and has been traumatic to a lot of ecosystems.
Yeah, for sure. SMK tip $20, legendary tribes of $20. Also, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. So one of the things that I do is I compare the microwear, the scratches and dents on the teeth of giant eyes to modern day eyes to see how the diet of eyes have changed since humans have occupied Madagascar. And I mentioned before that eyes really seem to like those rameni nuts that the Malagasy bury their dead under. That actually doesn't seem to have been true 1,000+ years ago. That seems to be a fallback food, and eyes actually seem to have been breaking their teeth more and more as they've had to continuously eat rameni nuts. They're actually very hard on their teeth, and they're getting more and more tooth infections as they've had to rely more and more on rameni nuts. And if you look at a map of where eyes used to be before human occupation and now, eyes have been pushed farther north, farther east and west, and have been completely pushed out of South and Western Madagascar. And those food sources are no longer available to them. And where a lot of organizations are trying to plant new plants, they're being forced by the Malagasy government to plant trees that are best for charcoal production that are not native to the island.
I see.
And these are not the best foods for lemurs and especially eyes. And one of the things that came to note for us as eye conservationists and zoo workers happened sadly in 2016 at the Duke Lemur Center. We're always learning, and we set up the first eye colony at the Duke Lemur Center in 1987. Dr. Patricia Wright went to Madagascar and gathered the first 8 eyes. All lemurs in captivity are from these original 8 eye.
Wow.
So you can imagine that of those 55 total eye I spoke of, the amount of genetic inbreeding is pretty high, that they all came from those initial 8 eye.
Right.
So that's another issue that we're dealing with. But that colony, we had to learn everything, because up until that point in 87, we had thought that eyes were completely extinct in Madagascar. And it was a student, Eleanor Sterling, who had to learn what eyes ate. And at that point, the staff were trying their very best, and they were just giving the eyes everything under the sun that they thought eyes might want to eat. And if you're a parent, you know, giving your child everything they want to eat is probably not the best idea.
Right.
They're going to eat the worst things for them and not the healthy things.
Yeah.
So there was one eye called Marvin, and his nickname was Starvin' Marvin. And he was climbing around and he fell and he broke his leg.
Oh, no.
And he was an infant at this point. And when they went to go for a health study on him, they found that he had scurvy.
Oh.
And they realized he didn't have any protein in him, and he wasn't getting any of the nutrition he was supposed to be getting. And they didn't understand, because they were giving them all the protein that they needed, but they weren't eating it. They were preferring to have all the junk food. And that's when Eleanor Sterling had to come in and say, no, we need to give them primate bars that have all the proper nutrients, and we can flavor them with the treats that they like, but we need to give them the proper nutrients that they need to keep them healthy.
That's a tough thing with primate. I've done a little bit of Zuki thing, and giving them the primate biscuits and then giving them fruit or anything else, they'll fill up on everything else first.
Right. So they had to give them the chow to keep them healthy, because they weren't eating the proper nutrients.
So a few more donations. Dom with $50, Warren with $83. Dom and Warren, huge donations. Thank you. Cake with $5, Dennis the Sub, Danny with $8, and Al Cotton with $3, or $516. Thank you guys so much. If you wouldn't mind, Clayton, can we get into some of the questions that they've been asking throughout the podcast? Okay, because there are a lot of good ones. Okay, so we have one about... Max asked, why are they called eyes?
So that's a good question. The Malagasy is ahi, A-H-I-A-H-I, and it's thought that that's the sound that they make. So it's ahi.
Okay, got it. Okay, other questions that we have. SMK asked, how good is the hearing of eyes?
So eyes have very good hearing, and it's very hard to see them in the wild. You have to look a long time, and I've found the guides are absolutely necessary if you're going to find in the wild. If you're just crashing through the bush, you're never going to find them.
Yeah. Okay. So they have good hearing. Do they also have good vision, especially at night? They have huge eyes.
So, vision is a very interesting thing about eye, and I'm actually currently working with a research group on this fact. So, I talked about how they have really developed brains, unlike most other lemurs. They also have color vision.
Oh,
which is very unusual for lemurs,
how cool.
but also for nocturnal species. Most nocturnal species do not have color vision. They don't need it because they're nocturnal. They don't need to see colors in the dark. But for some reason, they have color vision. They can see a multitude of different colors, including blues and purples and greens. And we're not sure why.
Huh.
Some people have theorized or hypothesized that they were out during twilight periods at some point in their relatively recent evolution. Some have hypothesized that because of moonlight, they need to see in different shades of color.
Yeah.
Maybe for food source. But they do not see in red light.
Okay.
And different shades of blue do not affect their eyes as badly. So if you go to a nocturnal exhibit for them, you will usually see them under blue or red light.
Okay.
But their eyesight is very good, and they can see you very well. But they do not like daylight. And if you are out at an exhibit or you do go to Madagascar, please do not use flash photography. You will damage their eyes if you use flash photography.
I remember that from the exhibits. There are lots of signs about that. Okay. One other question. This is an interesting one. Space asked, was the movie Madagascar made to help with conservations at all, or did it not have a big effect?
That's a good question. It was supposed to, I think.
Okay.
Like all movies, there is some benefit and some loss. I think that anything that brings interest is always a benefit.
Okay, that's good.
I think that it harmed in some ways that it made lemurs very cute, and the pet trade went up in a large way.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And the pet trade is a major factor that really harms lemurs. Not necessarily eyes, because there's not a major pet trade for eyes, but ringtail lemurs especially have really suffered from the pet trade. And we support an organization called Lemur Love, and they trace the pet trade in a number of different ways. But one of the ways I love to a degree is that they trace lemur poop, which is amazing. So they study lemur poop, and they can actually trace what lemurs have been taken from the wild.
Yeah, we had
by their excrement.
We've had a few big cat experts that do fecal DNA for the exact same thing for the illegal trade. Yeah.
Yes, and they can find and trace down and stop pet trades of lemurs.
Guys,
and that's wonderful.
That's what Ellie Armstrong has done that.
Yes.
And Imogene as well with the snow leopards and tigers. So speaking of captivity, Guy asked, how long do eyes live in captivity compared to the wild, and how many offspring do they have? How many of those survive to adulthood?
So that's a very good question. So starting in 87, the original 8 eyes, 7 of them lived a very long time. The infant that was brought and was captured died relatively immediately. Annabelle Lee did not survive well in captivity. And the initial infants that were born and held in captivity did not do well. There was a disconnect between how to raise infants in captivity and have healthy births in captivity at first. It took a while, but now we've definitely got to the point where we are much better at having healthy, long-living offspring.
Okay.
And Eyes, the longest living Eye in captivity, I believe, just turned 28.
Wow.
So
that's impressive.
It is. They're long living. They're much longer living than in the wild. There's 2 very long lived Eye. One is at the Chester Zoo and one is at the Duke Lemur Center. Most are living into their late teens and early 20s. Mm. There is, of course, always the few that do not. So I was referring back to the event of 2016 that we're always learning about eyes and their food choices. And I'll get to that point now. So in 2016, there was an event that happened at the Duke Lemur Center. And the hypothesis is that somehow avocados with their rind and pit got into the food source of 5 eyes. Mm-hmm. And most lemurs have no problem with avocados. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, all 5 eyes that these avocados came in contact with got sick, and 4 of the eyes died within 24 hours.
Oh my gosh, that's devastating.
It is absolutely devastating. So avocados have a neurotoxin in them. Mm. And that neurotoxin is natural. It is for a defungal agent, and it was unknown to everyone that it would affect the eyes. It does affect goats and cattle, mm-hmm. and it can affect cats, mm-hmm. but it was absolutely unknown to affect eyes. It's now been taken out of all lemurs at all zoos and installations.
Yeah.
But that was truly devastating. It took out one of the major breeding females, and it took out a couple males that were just reaching maturity to breed, and it was just absolutely something that no one had thought of before that would have happened. And so that's another thing that we're learning all the time. But it's another concern because avocados are now being planted in Madagascar.
Oh.
And we have to worry about that because there's a real likelihood that eyes will get into these plantings of avocado trees that are being planted in Madagascar. So there's worries and concerns that have to be brought up to the Malagasy government.
Yeah, that's really sad. Jeez. Okay, big donations. Raptor with $5, Nash with $5, Tito with $15, Bernie with $67, and Botox with $100.
Thank you guys so much.
You guys are insane, right? $710. Thank you guys so much.
So I want to touch on some of the projects we're working on.
That'd be great.
So we're preparing for some exciting goals. Okay. Our new volunteer, Roberto Martinez, has headed to Madagascar. He got there before COVID-19 struck. He's been working on local communities to help raise awareness about eyes. He's helped with local planting of trees and photographing of lemurs around the island. We've had several research projects working with lead scientists. That's been on the color vision, on the genetics work. We're working with a research grad student, and we're hoping to see some exciting stuff on genetics from her.
Cool.
Although the Malagasy border is closed, we've been working with Madagascar Biodiversity Partnership with Ed Lewis and his wife Susie Lewis to send some aid for face masks and face shields and medical supplies.
Nice.
And we have an article coming out soon in International Primate Protection League, the IPPL. And that has been going on since 1973. It's a gibbon sanctuary out of South Carolina. And we're very honored to be featured in such a prestigious magazine through such an organization.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And last year in December, Jessica Wooler of Frankfurt Zoo contacted us, and she held a little gathering of materials that they had from their gift shop that just weren't selling. And they had a thrift shop sell-a-thon for us.
Oh, how cool.
To
That's a good
raise
idea.
funds. And we put together a poster and pamphlets, both in German and English. And so they handed those out to their guests. And she went on to take the poster to the London Zoo for their second Biaza Nocturnal Primate Workshop. And so she actually presented for us in London, which was just wonderful.
Our last, was it last podcast? No, the podcast before last was benefiting ZSL.
Nice.
Society London, yeah.
Very nice.
So we got to talk about them. It was on Wild Dogs. They do a lot of good stuff there.
Yes, Wild Dogs is another one of our projects that we really like to help out.
Cool.
And the last thing that I'm working on is I'm working on a book to sum up all the lemurs and all the aye-ayes that have been in captivity throughout the 100 or so years that aye-ayes have been in captivity. And what I want it to be is something that's not just the stud book. So the stud book is something that's released with just aye-aye name, gender, what the sires were, and the date it was in captivity. I want this to be a book that has stories from the zookeepers, everyone who's worked with that aye-aye, and to give something about the life so that there's something that is meaningful, that gives something so people can flip through this book and actually read something that brings these aye-ayes home, that will have pictures and help bring these aye-ayes to life for people. And so
lovely.
Hopefully that will be out soon. I'm working on it day in and day out, but it's a slow process like everything else. Working with conservation is a slow process, and I appreciate all of your help. And
of course.
all of you guys out there with all your wonderful questions and your amazing donations. And you, Maya, I really appreciate you having us on.
Oh, of course, this has been great. I'm so glad that so many people got to learn what they were, because I mean it when I say a lot of them didn't know what an aye-aye was before we did this podcast. Jude,
they're part of my heart now. They definitely are.
Jude with $10, Tripod with $57.77. Oh, we're at $777.77.
You guys are amazing.
That's wonderful. Okay, so I know that I didn't get to all of your questions today. You guys asked a lot of really good ones. Thank you. But there are a couple that are similar that I think would be good to close out. And that is, what can I do as an individual to help the aye-aye?
You know, there are so many things to do. If you can't support our organization, find a different organization to support. Go to Madagascar Biodiversity Partnership. Go to Lemur Love. If aye-ayes aren't your thing, support a different lemur group. If you can't, go to your zoo and support your zoo. COVID-19 has wrecked zoos throughout our country and throughout the world.
Yeah, we
Support
talked
your
about
zoo
that.
right now. They need your help.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't donate money, donate time. Go volunteer at your zoo. They need your help.
Mm-hmm.
We've had several children who have done candy drives and lemonade sales. They've done wondrous things to try to raise money and to try to raise awareness. Read about eyes, read about lemurs, teach somebody else about an eye, share a picture about an eye on social media.
Yeah,
Share this video.
what a cool
Do whatever you
icebreaker
can
party
to
topic.
help out. Everything helps.
Pull up a picture of the
Just,
finger and teach people about them.
keep your foot on the gas. Every little bit helps in keeping conservation movements going.
Yeah, for sure. And Thom with the $13, thank you. And Botox with $32, Jeff with $3.
You are all amazing.
Moss with
Every
$10.
little bit helps. And if you didn't get your question answered, we're on every social media platform. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Tumblr, we're on Discord. Send me messages. Go to II Conservation. Send me an email at iiconservation@gmail.com. We will answer your questions.
You guys can do Command Guest if you want to be taken to their Twitter. Command Org on their website, and all their socials are linked on their website. Real with $25. It's also, like I've said a bunch of times, if you're not able to donate or you're not able to donate your time, it's really cool that you guys are sitting here and watching this, because awareness is super, super important, and that's huge. So you're doing something by being here. So thank you for being here. Clayton, thank you so much for your time. I think we're about out of time today, but thank you so much for coming on and for teaching us so much and answering all the questions and for the stories and the stuffed animals. They're wonderful.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And let us know when your book comes out. I will make sure to tell people about it.
Thank you, Maya.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Absolutely. Bye.
Oh, he's wholesome. Oh, he's wholesome. Good guy. Good podcast. I love him. He's wonderful. Guys, eyes are sick. I had them so wrong. I've seen them at zoos, but I haven't seen them move. And I thought they were like almost sloth-like. Like, I thought they were slow and small and kind of fragile and just like chilled. They're badass. Thom, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate it. They're no joke. Chewing through metal, concrete, the finger. Bernie with the $10. Thank you. Can we watch a short video on eyes? Yeah, you guys want to watch them tapping on the tree? I pulled up this video during the podcast, so I haven't seen it, but it does show what they do, which is kind of cool. Okay, here. I think this is an okay place to start.
The truth is more natural than supernatural, but they're right about the finger. To find its prey, it uses a multi-purpose digit. The changes in sound build a mental map of hollow channels inside.
What?
It cups its ears to gather the slightest vibration that could signify something to eat, like a grub. Sharp incisors rip away the bark. Its bony middle finger changes roles from a scanner to a scraper. It claws in and out of gaps, enlarging the hole. The grub doesn't know what the eye is, but it does know what it means. Death, if it can't wriggle away. The eye locks in. The finger transforms into a hook. A sharp fingernail impales the grub. It's dragged up, out, and into the eye's mouth.
Yum, 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 yum. What an insane animal, dude. What an insane percussion hunter. I have never heard that phrasing before. They're called percussion hunters. That's so cool. The tapping builds a map in their head and they cup their, like, what the heck? So cool. We learned so much today, you guys. Thank you, Bernie. Thank you for the $10 again. Thank you for all the donations today. $871. Their PayPal's linked, so it's gone straight to them. So thank you. And also, I don't know if alarm's still going. I know. He opened it and cut all of the wires, and it's still beeping. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should smash, like, I don't. Okay. That's nothing though. Before it was literally like beep, 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 beep. No, it did not stop. I don't know if I've said it before, but I want to thank the people, the regular donators to this podcast. I don't want to list names because I'm scared that I'm going to miss someone, but you know who you are. Chat knows who you are. There are people that come to this podcast every time and tip like substantial donations. And they really, Cindy, thank you for the $3. They really carry the donation goal and encourage more people to donate. And to do that every week just means so much. So, yeah, you guys know who you are, and thank you so much. It really, really means a lot. So today, let's do the quiz before we talk about the surprise, okay? How the quiz works is, I have a question before we do this. Do you think that it's a problem that I write the quiz questions during the podcast? I've gotten better about paying attention while I'm doing it, but I'm worried that it looks like I'm not paying attention. It's fine. Because I don't want to look rude, and I don't want to be like type, you know? Okay. Okay, cool. Quiz. Here we go. So, 5 questions, 20 seconds. I just tell them. I will tell them in the, I'll tell them in the test call. I'll say, like, if you hear me typing or whatever, just know that it's for that. Okay. That's a good idea. I said 20 questions. Did I say that? 5 questions, 20 seconds per question. The way that it works is you have to get it, you have to get it correct the fastest, and whoever gets it correct the fastest gets, the most points. So, you have to click Manage Access. Not 20 questions. 5 questions, 20 seconds per question. Our Cannon with $50. Speaking of regular donators, Cannon, thank you so much. That's a huge donation. Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy how in an hour you can go from not knowing what an II is to being sad that they're going extinct, essentially, and then caring so much and thinking they're so cool. You know, how sick is that we get to sit here and go through that together. Anyway, sad but also a cool concept, because at least you guys know about it, right? That's kind of neat. Drux with $10. Click Manage Access. It'll take me like a minute or two, 2 minutes to put the quiz together. Viz is linking you a picture to how you do that. If you don't click Manage Access, then one of these days it's not gonna get me. One of these days, man. Jeez. Every time. Just change, like, one of you can be blue. Have you ever thought about that? Or have you thought about it? And that's why you... Anyway. No. If you don't click Manage Access, if you don't allow access, your username won't show up, so you can't win the quiz. It'll just show up as contestant number, blah, 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 and then you can't win. If you do win, if you're not a sub to my channel, I'll gift you a sub to my channel. If you are a sub, I will gift a sub to a channel of your choice, or I will donate an extra $5 to II conservation. Okay? That's the idea for the quiz. Give me a minute to set it up. Okay? And I will see you guys in 2 minutes max. Here we go. I'm getting faster at that. Alright. Are you ready for the quiz? 5 questions, here we go. Manage access, allow access, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Start quiz. Okay. It's sending. It's starting. Start game. Where did lemurs originate? Did they originate in Madagascar, in Europe, in Australia, or in North America? Don't put the answer in chat! Bad, thank you for the 8 months. Why do you type the answer in chat? That's not how you answer the quiz. You have to... Okay. Or maybe it's the wrong answer. Maybe they're doing it to trick you. The correct answer is North America, which is not something that I knew. A lot of people said Madagascar. More people said Madagascar than North America, so that was in the beginning of the podcast, which is tough. So it was kind of a trick. That is a first. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have included Madagascar, but that was at the beginning of the podcast. They originated in North America, and then they were spread to other parts of the world, and they died off in North America. The person that got that right the fastest was Warren. Congratulations, Warren. Well done. Chuck in a close second. Next. Here we go. Next question. Which of the following is not a challenge that AIs face, that their populations face? Is it ritualistic killing due to superstition? Is it the bushmeat trade, slash and burn farming, or plastic entanglement? Slow? It's a tough question to be fast on. I don't usually do which of the following is not, then you have to read all of them, so. Fainty, it's okay, you don't have to participate in the quiz. Don't worry, you're gonna be okay. Mythic, I'm sorry. Correct, yeah, plastic entanglement is not an issue that we talked about AIs facing. But slash and burn farming, for sure, so habitat loss, the bushmeat trade, because of the poverty in Madagascar, and then ritualistic killing due to superstition. People have superstitions about AIs. I forgot to show the who's in the lead, I'm sorry. Next question. What is the nut that AIs feed on, yet it damages their teeth? What's it called? Is it a peanut? Is it a walnut? Is it a palm nut, or is it a Romani nut? That one was tough. Two more questions. Who got that one correct? I hope a lot of you. The correct answer is the Romani nut. Me smile. Well done. I was reading chat. Were you looking for the answer? Who's in the lead? LP! Big time. LP's in the lead. Contestant number 422 in a close second. Doesn't matter that you're in a close second, though. Volasat, congratulations on getting that one. Okay. Fourth question. Oh, you're not in the lead. I'm sorry. I got those mixed up. What is special about II conservation compared to... Oh my gosh. Not conservation. I'm sorry, I wrote that wrong. What's special about II vision? Is it that they have poor night vision? Is that they can't see? That they have black and white vision, or they have color vision? You guys know what I was trying to say. I'm sorry. I messed that up. Not rigged. Relax. I meant vision, not conservation, okay? The correct answer is that they have color vision, okay? A lot of you got that. A lot of you got it, so it's fine. Congratulations, Venpid. Well done. Who got that one right? Who's in the lead? Volasat still in the lead. Warren coming in second. Protech, and then Not Will, and then Bernie. Damn. Look at the board. Last question. How old is the longest living eye in captivity? How old is the oldest eye in captivity? Is it 20 years old? Is it 50 years old? Is it 10 years old? Or is it 28 years old? Oh no, Bernie's upset. Bernie misclicked. I Am Ant Plays still doesn't know. Onyx giving the answer away to chat. I Am Ant Plays getting the answer wrong. Saying that he guessed it right. With the Pog U, and then now he's sad. The correct answer is 28 years old. Alright, who's done it? Who's done it this time? Was it I Am Ant Plays? No, it wasn't. It was Volasat. Volasat, you stayed in the lead. Well done. Well done. Big claps. Volasat, are you a sub? Somebody just spam what he says. I don't know what color he is. Is he here? No, he's not a sub. He's not a sub! Gift a sub. How do you gift to a specific viewer? Volasat. Is it Volusat? That's right? Volusat? Yes. Okay. Yay! I'm not eligible to make the purchase. Why? God, why do you guys do that? Like, Botox. Like this, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, whatever. Thank you for gifting a sub to Volasat. I appreciate it. Okay, guys. $935 for eye conservation today. Absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. We learned a lot about eyes today, and about their conservation, what we can do, and I certainly learned a lot today. I hope you guys did as well. Twitch is an untapped reservoir for doing good. $935 today, and raising money every single week. That is a good segue. I am very aware that Twitch is an untapped reservoir for doing good. I am very aware that Twitch is an untapped reservoir for education. I recognize that my passions lie in wildlife, in exotics, in animals, in raptors, and my dream is conservation education. And I've been able to do that on stream with Bean, doing his rehab on stream, with the podcast every week, which I love so dearly. And now I have a job at an internship at a wildlife rehab center where I get to do that every week, or I mean multiple times a week. And I have been working for a while trying to figure out how I can bleed those two things together. How I can bleed my internship and the in-person, like, IRL work that I'm doing for wildlife rehab and my stream, because it's my dream to combine them, especially with the platform that I have, right? So, I have a surprise, and I am going to show you the surprise. And I'm going to play royalty-free while I get the surprise. effing with $65. Chat, are you ready? This is Bixby, and this is Buffkin. They're totally okay to be scruffed, okay? They're 6 weeks old. These are raccoon babies that were brought into the rehab center, because somebody heard them screaming under their house, because something got their mom. So they came into the rehab center super, super dehydrated, super, super emaciated, but I have them for the next 3 weeks. Bigby. What are you doing? No. No. They're very active. They get fed 4 times a day. They're still getting, thank you for the sub, they're still getting formula. How do you tell them apart? Bigby is significantly bigger than Buffkin is. Buffkin's a little guy. See? Small. Big. I'm gonna put one away so that I can, focus. Oh. Hold on. Okay, so, chat, let me explain this to you, okay? Hold on. Okay. Woo! Let me explain to you guys how this is gonna work. So, for a while, I have been thinking about how to ask if I can use, when I bring animals home from the rehab center, how to use it as an opportunity to educate you guys and how to bring animals on stream so that you guys can see them. I told my boss about it and said that I could teach people about what to do when they find wildlife. It'll be similar to Bean, where like I hope that you guys get more respect for the animal by seeing them on stream. I'll have them again for 3 weeks, so they'll be around. We'll have to start taking them outside, teaching them how to grab things, teaching them about water, teaching them about stuff like that. I'm going to be very careful to show you guys that they are not pets, obviously. They're still pretty wild. They scream and they bite and they're, they're not happy, and I'll always wear gloves when I'm handling them because they're not pets. But I hope that this will be just as powerful as with Bean, and I hope that at the end of the 3 weeks, my plan is to do a charity stream for the organization, because I've explained to my boss what I do, but they don't understand, like, they don't know the magnitude at all, of what I do, and, when I said that I could use it as a fundraising opportunity, I think that, she thinks maybe I'll bring her like $50 or $100 or something. So my hope is that at the end of the 3 weeks, when you guys are more in love with them, we can do a charity stream and raise some money so I can give them a check so that they understand that there's value in me bringing animals home, so that you guys can meet them on stream and so that you can learn about them on stream, so that I can bring more animals home in the future. These guys will be released. Raccoons have to stay at the rehab center for a long time. These ones are already 6 weeks old. I'll have them for 3 weeks, and then they'll be at the rehab center outside in the enclosures to acclimate to being outdoors for a few months before they're ready to go. But maybe I could stream the release when we get there. I don't know. But once these guys go back to the center, I would really like to bring home more animals so that we can do more of this on stream. And I think that it's a really, really big and really important chapter for us, and it's a really, really cool thing for my channel, is to be doing rehab and stuff on stream. So I'm really, really excited about that. I'm hoping that I can bring home raccoons, squirrels, skunks, foxes, songbirds, corvids, raptors, we get all kinds of stuff, opossums, all kinds of stuff at the rehab center. So that's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm hoping for. So I hope that over the next few weeks we can spend some time with them. You guys can learn about them. You guys can get to know them and love them, and then we'll do a charity stream, see how it goes, and then hopefully we'll get to do more of it in the future. But right now, they are, again, they're 6 weeks old. They're eating 4 times a day still. They get a mixture of raccoon formula and omnivore formula. And I also am giving them a few cc's of water every feeding because they dehydrate really easy. So that's the plan for... What are you doing? That's the plan for the next few weeks. I don't know. I don't have that much planned for them, like, on stream, like what we're gonna do, but we'll figure it out as we go. But yeah, that's a surprise. Camera shy? Yeah, I use a little camera shy. Here he is. Do you like their names? Bigby and Buffkin. Yay! Okay, they don't like being held. They're not like... The only reason that I ever handle them is, well, 1, for education, or 2, for feeding. So I only ever take them out at feeding times. But, okay. Did you name them? Yes, I did. The center certainly didn't name them. That would be a weird coincidence. Okay, so I'm gonna put them back. Do you guys have questions? Where do they live? In my streaming room. Questions before I put them back? Are we good to go? Okay, I don't want to stress them out too much. So I'm gonna put them back in this crate. Hi, buddy. No, goodness. They're pretty freaking cute, man. They're, like, really cute. Okay. Okay, bye, Bigby. Bye, Buffkin. Are you afraid Miz is gonna freak them out? Well, Miz doesn't live here, so I don't really have to worry about that. Are you afraid your dogs will attack them? No, my dogs don't have access to this room. That would be content. Please talk about Miss. Okay. Can they do tricks? No. They are both male. Why do you have them? They were brought in because something got their mom and they were underneath somebody's house. Thank you. When did we get to a effing? Because of the $65. Jeez, we're at over 1,000. Yeah, something got their mom, so they were brought into the center, and they have to be bottle fed. Why do they not imprint? Yeah, good question. So with raccoons, it's really, really tough because you have to handle them every day, like 4 times a day, and when they're younger, it's even more than that for feedings. So they have to be pretty calm around you, especially because we have to handle them for months on end. So if we keep them completely like wild and angry, it's really, really tough to do those things, and they get more stressed out when you try to go in there and feed them every time, and it's dangerous for the people as well. So the way that the center does it is we have them in our homes. Yeah, it did, Aki. We have them in our homes. We do bottle feeding every like, for me, 4 times a day. And then they'll go back to the center. They go out in a big enclosure outside that's fenced, so they're safe, but they're also outside, and they get put out with other raccoons that are their age, and they wild up really fast in those enclosures. So once they're outside and with other raccoons, people don't go in there, people don't, like, play with them, nothing like that. Like, they don't spend time in there, there's no bottle feeding, there's no playtime, no nothing. And when they're just with other raccoons in a big enclosure outside, they wild up like that. So if you go in there, they hiss at you. They're like, "Get out of here!" Like they don't want to be part of your thing at all. So that's a really good thing that it works out that way. Animals wild up really fast when you put them in enclosures and don't spend time with them. Like wild animals, anyway. Like Bean. When Bean was put into a giant flight enclosure, I you know how Bean was. Like, I could touch him everywhere for, like, exams. Like, I could feel his keel every day, easy, nothing. Then when he got put in a big flight enclosure, we had to net him to get anywhere close to him, and it was hard to net him. He was freaking out. Like, we had to catch him with a net, to release him. So, they wild up really quick. But it's a really good thing. So, while they're here, I like to keep them as calm as possible, as not stressed as possible, so they're comfortable around me to the point where I can feed them and do their daily care. I can weigh them every day. I can give them dewormer, everything that they need, but I don't play with them. I don't sit and, like, pet them and stuff like that, because that's not my job. But, yeah, so I'm very excited. They're with me for 3 weeks. And I really hope that after the charity stream and I bring a donation to the center, they're like, wow, that's actually cool and really good. And then they want to send me home with more animals, because that would be really cool for the stream, wouldn't it? Like, really cool. So I'm pumped about that. Yeah, I pulled up my website at work the other day, and nobody even scrolled down, because they don't know tech at all. Like, they don't care. I pulled up my website hoping that they would like, look at the numbers or something, and they didn't even scroll down. It was just left on the homepage. They're like, oh, cool. I was like, yeah. I guess. Yeah, or they don't care, which is also fine. Fail flexing. Yeah, well, part of it was because I wanted them to see value in it, because I was trying to convince them to let me have them on stream, you know? But I think that the impression that I got from my boss, like the founder, is that she thinks that I post a podcast on, like, Spotify or something. Or I post it somewhere. But that's it. I think that's what she thinks I do. So, I don't know. We will see how it goes. For the next few weeks, we'll bring them on stream, we'll do whatever. And then after the charity stream, I'll let you guys know what my work says. And hopefully it goes well, and hopefully this is kind of like a new thing for the channel that is really, really important to me, and I'm really, really freaking excited about it. It's literally my dream. New releases, yeah, I've done 16 releases since I've been here, which is huge. I also graduated college yesterday, so that's good too. No 5th year for me. It was actually really sad. It was super anticlimactic. I didn't feel anything. Okay. So, today, the host today, am I missing anything? I feel like I am. I don't remember what it is. You still did it though? True. Yeah, I'm done with school. It's crazy. Okay, yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything. We'll talk more about the raccoons another time. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. Next stream Monday. I might stream tomorrow. I have a bounty. And I want to do the IRL on Monday. Come on, lads. Thank you for the $3. No, you're misunderstood. This is for II conservation. The stream for the Wildlife Rehab Center will be in a few weeks, but thank you. I have a bounty, so I may do it this weekend. I think I will do it this weekend, so I can do the IRL Monday, because Monday I still want to do the bug collection stream, and then come back for the microscope stream, because I have my microscope and my vials. What time for the bounty? I don't know. I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow night or something. Or tomorrow afternoon, early afternoon tomorrow. Or early afternoon Sunday. One or the other. And then for the IRL Monday, I think I want to do a morning IRL on Monday. Because it's either going to have to be early morning or like late afternoon because of the heat. But I think I'll do an early morning. So I'll go collect bugs in the morning and then come back to my desktop. So it'll be long because I don't want to leak anything. But I'll try to, maybe I'll just end stream and come back and start stream again. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Remy. Exactly. So, another big thing for today is we've been, and by we I mean me, Will, and Locke have been talking to Dobbins about his streaming, and he plans on doing IRLs, educational content, nature content, you know, all that jazz. Dobbins, obviously, you guys know, is a good friend of mine. He took me to Belize. He's like corny as hell. I look up to him a lot. He's the person I call when I have like existential crises about conservation and stuff like that. So he's an important person in my life. He's streaming, so I am. Wait, what did you think I said? Corny. You guys are all so stupid. Why would I say that? Corny. I said it's corny as hell. I said this is corny as hell, but I look up to him. Okay, so I'll enunciate better in the future. Damn. Relax. So today we're rating him. Dobbins and John are gonna come here to Texas in a few weeks, or in like a month. So we're gonna do like IRL stuff, and that'll be really cool, and I'm excited for that. But today he's doing a desktop stream to like introduce himself and tell you guys what he wants to do with the channel. I'm excited to support his channel and support more education, especially conservation education, on Twitch. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And I will see you guys either tomorrow or Sunday for the bounty, and then I will see you, I don't know, Messy, ask Tara. And then I will see you again on Monday for the IRL. Clayton was absolutely wonderful. Thank you for your donations today. Amazing. Really cool podcast. It was good. He was very wholesome and wonderful. So, thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys always. I'll see you soon. And we'll do stuff with the raccoons soon. Okay. Bye.